Hi, welcome back to the podcast. So good to be here with you today. My name is Haley Sohn. I'm a nutritionist and brain training weight loss coach, and I help women lose 30 pounds in 90 days without dieting by focusing where it actually matters. And that's on your brain, on your mindset, and giving you some really solid tools to figure out why you're thinking about food all the time, why you're eating things that you don't want to, why you're eating even though you want to lose weight. So that's where I am. That's why you're here today, because you're done with dieting. Like you're just over it. Moving on, let's figure out something that actually works and that doesn't include all of the suffering that comes along with dieting. If you want to learn more about working with me, you can go to my website at basicallyitmeals.com. But today, what we're talking about is a little bit of my journey in failing to lose weight for a couple of years and the lessons that I learned in that journey. So I've shared this story kind of indirectly a lot here on the podcast, but I'm going to dive into some of the specific lessons that I took away when my weight loss efforts didn't work out the way I thought. And this is all coming from, like, I was already a nutritionist when I was trying to lose this weight. I was already working as a nutritionist. I had clients as a nutritionist. I had gone through getting a nutrition and exercise physiology degree from the University of Missouri Columbia. Like, I was out of college working full time and I was struggling to lose weight. And honestly, the kind of interesting thing about that is I know other nutritionists, dietitians, physicians who struggle with their weight, and they're highly educated. They know all of the things and they're still not able to weigh what they want. They're still stuck thinking about food all the time or eating things that they know aren't going to help them weigh what they want to weigh. That's the very interesting thing about this field is it and the degree, I'll say, maybe it's focused so much on the foods, the specific foods, and the science of those foods in your body. And that's not really helpful. It really isn't. You don't need to be told what to eat. You already know what's good and what isn't for you when it comes to weighing what you want. That's not the issue. It's not that you don't know what to eat. The issue is your brain is talking to you about grabbing a snack anytime you feel stressed out. That's where we need to do the work and solve. That's what we need to solve for. So that's kind of what I'm going to break down for you in today's podcast is like what I tried and that why it didn't work and what you can do instead. Okay, so we're going to dive right in because I've got a lot for you. These are 8 lessons that I learned in my journey of failing to lose weight, essentially. Okay, so lesson number 1, diets don't work. This was hard learned as a nutritionist who was really trained in prescribing diets. Like, here's all the diets that we can do and all of the foods that you can and can't have and the calorie counts and the macros that you should be following. And so when I was trying to lose weight for myself, that's where like my brain took me was we're going to do the diets. We're going to focus on the diets. We're going to focus on the macros. We're going to focus on the actions here. And when I started doing that, I never felt more out of control. I felt so out of control, like focusing on the diets. And the more out of control I felt, the more I tried to focus on the diets. And it was like this vicious cycle of me just like more dieting, felt more out of control, so I did more dieting and then I felt even more out of control. And it just never worked. It never got me where I wanted. And where I wanted was to feel in control and to feel like peace of mind around food. Um, I was eating more than ever, and I was thinking about food more than ever. Like the more I thought about dieting, that in a way is thinking about food, the more I wanted to eat. It was wild. And I realized that it didn't matter what diet plan I said I was going to follow. My brain and my mindset was setting that diet plan up to fail. Like I was never going to succeed at that diet plan because my brain and my mindset were not aligned for any actions with that diet plan. And I really didn't know how to fix that. But when I finally dropped all of the restrictive diets and the like real focus on macros and these are the list of foods that I can and can't have, um, and really focused on my mindset instead in a productive way with some real tools that I could use, that's when I saw the weight fall off, and that's when I saw that I was in control. Like dieting was a trying to control it, but I was out of control. And then all of a sudden when I focused on my mindset, like I was in control, but from a very peaceful, calm place, which is exactly what I wanted. And I wasn't thinking about food all of the time. Number two, you can eliminate emotional eating in a pain-free way. So I remember thinking one day, like when I was in the thick of it, not succeeding at weight loss and not weighing what I wanted, thinking about food all the time, using food to help myself deal with my emotions. Like I realized that that's what was going on. And I just remember laying in bed, eating Cheetos, and feeling so stressed out and so out of control. Um, and I'm also working as a nutritionist full time, and I'm running this healthy meal delivery service on the side. So I'm kind of like self judging at the same time, like, what am I doing? Like, I know I can see bird's eye view what's going on. Like, this does not align with who I am at all. I realized though in that moment that I was terrified to give up food as my emotional support system. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions without the food at that point in time. The food was completely like it was there to support me when I felt stressed or when I felt overwhelmed. And I was like, what would I do without the food? That it really scared me. And a lot of people that I talk to that have kind of come to that whoa cool that have come to that conclusion that like, yes, I am using food to help me manage my emotions. They're like, I don't want to give that up because I don't know what's on the other side. I don't know how to manage my emotions without the food. It's really scary. One of my clients actually refers to all of her past dieting as suffering because she was kind of like in a sense had that rug ripped out from under her. Like, I'm using food to manage my emotions, and all of a sudden I'm going to take that away. And I have nothing else to help me deal with my emotions. So you're just kind of there. You have no tools. No diet provides you with tools to deal with that. You're just like on your own all of a sudden with all of these emotions that you've been using food to manage. And it's awful. It feels awful. You're now all of a sudden on this like really restrictive diet, yet you still feel stressed and anxious and overwhelmed, and you don't have anything to help you deal with that. It feels like suffering. So really focusing on learning how to deal with stress without food, learning how to deal with boredom without food, learning how to manage anxiety without food, not eat for that, is really important. And it's what will help you feel like you're free of the food. When I like really focused on how do I manage my emotions without food and ask myself that question, like if you're here listening to this right now and you're like, yeah, that's me, ask yourself that question. How can I manage my emotions without food? I all of the sudden realized I can eat less and not be in this emotional discomfort. I realized like I can do this. I can manage my emotions without the food. Um, lesson number 3, emotions are important and they have a place in this journey. I, for a very long time, considered myself a person who wasn't emotional. I didn't really experience emotions. And almost, okay, well, let me start this over. Almost everyone I speak to who wants to lose weight tells me this: I want to feel something other than what I'm feeling on a daily basis right now. Yet, they also tell me I'm not an emotional person and I also don't understand what emotions are or where they come from. Okay? So you might resonate with all of that or some of that. I want to feel something else than what I'm feeling, but I'm not an emotional person and I also have no idea what emotions are or where they come from. And I was the same. I used to consider myself like I'm not emotional. I'm not that person who like gets my cycle and like freaks out. I am not like super happy or super sad. I'm not angry or jealous. Like I don't experience any of those emotions. And also I really don't know what emotions are and where they come from. But there is one universal law that human beings are all tied to. You have emotions whether you realize it or not, and they are created by the way you think. No matter whether you think you're not emotional, it doesn't matter. Your thoughts are creating a physiological response in your body that you can physically feel, and that is called an emotion. And it's happening to you all day long, whether you like it or not. So, even if you don't think you're experiencing emotions or creating emotions for yourself, you are. Emotions don't happen to you, you create them. And the reason why that matters is because when you take action from whatever emotion you're experiencing. And if you want to understand this, go to an extreme. So, fear is a great example. What are you going to do? What verbs are you going to take if you're feeling fear? Versus what verbs are you going to take if you're feeling like happy? Think about that. They're completely different. Completely different. You are not going to take the same actions if when you're in fear as you are when you're feeling happy. So think about that for yourself. The emotions that you're taking the actions that you're taking right now are 100% driven by your emotional state moment to moment or day to day. So when you can harness the power of your thinking, you can start to take control of your emotions, which means that you can start to feel the way that you want to feel every day. If you want to feel something other than what you're feeling right now, that comes from your thinking. So if you realize like I, I want something other than what I have right now, that's going to come from your thoughts, how you're thinking moment to moment. So if you want effortless, if you want peaceful, if you don't want to be thinking about food all the time, if you don't want to feel stressed all the time, if you want to feel confident about yourself or happy, that comes from how you're thinking. And those are emotions, my friend. Your emotional state really does matter. The faster that you own that and accept that, the faster you're going to move through this journey of losing weight and feeling really good about yourself, feeling calm and still day to day. Lesson number 4, very much tied to lesson number 3, actions don't work. Ultimately, actions, yes, ultimately they get us the result that we want. If we eat less, we're going to lose weight. But what we all try to do is decide the actions that we're going to take and then take them even though we feel doubtful, overwhelmed, stressed out, anxious. It that is not effective. It's not worked for you in the past and it's not going to work for you in the future. When you do it that way, you have to use willpower in order to take those actions. So if you're not managing your emotional state first, if you're not managing your thoughts first, and you're just going to say, I'm going to take this list of actions, your emotions are likely not aligned with those actions. So what happens is you try to use willpower to follow through on those actions, and it does not feel good. It's why dieting sucks. It doesn't feel good and you can't keep it up. It's why all of your diets in the past have failed. Or you lost it and then you gained it all back. And you're like, why am I back here? I thought that I figured it out with that last diet. Yeah, no, those actions that you were taking were not aligned with your emotional state. You had to use a ton of willpower to make them happen. And you can't keep that level of willpower up. So boing, the weight all comes back and you go right back to where you were. Number 5, your mindset is everything. Mindset is not abstract. I think a lot of times we kind of think of it as this like thing that's out there, like that we got, I don't know. It's just foreign. We don't know what it is. It's not abstract. There's actually a clear process for creating a mindset that will help you lose weight. And it's a lot of the things that I just said. So when I figured that out, when I think a big part of my journey was like knowing that mindset was a part of it, but I really didn't know what that meant or what that looked like. And so when I was working on it from this abstract place of like, I have to catch this mindset, it wasn't effective. It wasn't working. And I think mindset's also like overused, which is part of why I'm using it, because it's a word that we understand. Anyways, there is actually a clear process for creating a mindset that's going to help you lose weight. And that's what I use with my clients. And it's what I used to figure out my own weight loss struggle and to get where I wanted. When you can focus on mindset in a productive way, this impossible weight loss game suddenly happens and it feels easy and natural. It doesn't feel like you're forcing it. It doesn't feel like it felt all of the other times that you tried. Number 6, this one's so good. And I'm going to actually do a whole podcast just on this. But you're not set in your ways. You can change your brain. So think about this. If you've practiced a golf swing like wrong since childhood to your 50s, and you go to a golf instructor and it's just like your shot's not good, and maybe you're not a golf player, pick a sport, pick an instrument, pick up anything that you've done in your life for a very long time, but it's just not right, or that you've been doing it wrong. Your golf instructor is not going to say, sorry, you've been practicing this so long and you're 30 now, or you're 40 now, or you're 50 now. It's just set in stone. You're not able to change it. No, they're going to be like, oh, we're just going to practice this other thing a whole bunch until you kind of unlearn the old and you relearn this new thing. Your brain is elastic. All of our brains are elastic. They're always capable of change. So the whole mindset thing, oh, I've been eating this way for years and years and I can't change myself. That's not true. That's a myth. And I think there was a part of that in my journey too, that like, I can't change at this point in my life. There's no point in your life when your brain is no longer capable of change. It's always capable of learning something new. And what you've been eating up until now is just behavior. It's learned. You just practiced it a lot. You can unlearn it and you can practice something new and learn that and become a new person through that. You're not. Your journey isn't over no matter how old you are. You can always unlearn and learn something new. And that's really all this weight loss thing is. And when I figured that out, when I realized like I can just practice this new thing enough to where that becomes who I am, and I don't practice this old thing anymore, and that doesn't have to be a part of my life, I was like, bam, it happens so much faster for me. Number 7, exercise because you want to, not because you have to. I think that's enough said, but a little piece of my journey was I was exercising all of the time to make up for my eating. And I would like tell myself like, okay, well now I have to work out, like 2 hours tomorrow. Or like I was doing these crazy workouts. And I actually enjoy working out. I'm that person. I've been an athlete my whole life. Like I really liked it. But I was using it to offset my diet. And that took the enjoyment out of it for me. Once I released the connection between those two and I just said, I'm going to work out because I enjoy it, then all of a sudden I enjoyed it again. And it wasn't a compensatory thing anymore. So whether you enjoy working out or not, disconnect exercise and your weight. Exercise because you like it. So find something that you enjoy and do that because you enjoy it. Okay. Number 8, have to, need to, should, trying. Those words all need to be swapped for want to, already have, and thankful for. So when you tell yourself, I should lose weight, does that make you feel ready to go out and take the actions that are going to help you lose weight? Does that make you feel like you want to eat less food today, or less food at your next meal, or throw food out that you're no longer hungry for, or listen to your body's signals? I'm waiting for your answer, because no, that sentence, I should lose weight, never makes us feel like we want to take the actions necessary to lose weight, ever. It makes you feel guilty and a slave to, doing these horrible things that you don't want to do. So odds are, though, you've been using those types of sentences. I should lose weight. I have to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I need to eat less. I should eat less. I shouldn't eat that food on the couch at night. I've got to try and lose weight. Those are your diet attempts. Those types of sentences sum up what you've done before to try to lose weight, to attempt losing weight. They are not effective because they don't generate the positive, like, I can do this emotion that you need to take those actions that you need to take to lose weight, to actually see the scale move in a way that feels good. So swap those types of words for I want to. I want to lose weight. I don't should to lose weight or need to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I actually want that for myself. That sentence right there, I want to lose weight versus I should lose weight, completely different. They feel totally different. There's an empowerment to I want to. I know how to lose weight, or I've done it before. I'm capable of losing weight. It's possible for me. I already am doing all of these things that are going to help me lose weight in other places in my life. I'm grateful for my body and for the fact that I have food to put on my table or food in my pantry. I already have the skills that I need to figure this out. Those types of sentences give you a completely different like emotional response than I should to, I have to, I need to, or I'm trying. That's not just semantics, that is mindset. That is the tools, those are part of the tools that you need to figure out this mindset piece so that you can lose weight. Once I nailed that down and I realized it's not just semantics, it's not just talk, bam, the weight started to come off. Okay, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you on the next episode. Bye.